Love without borders. The bustling streets of Da Nang lay quiet under the soft embrace of early morning light, the scent of freshly brewed coffee wafting from the nearby cafe. In a grand house nestled among lush gardens, a young woman named Lan stirred in her silk-covered bed, her dreams filled with the laughter of a girl she'd never met. Far to the south, in the chaotic sprawl of Saigon, a gentle rain pattered against the corrugated roof of a small, cramped apartment. Here Ni lay with her cheek pressed against the coolness of the concrete floor, her thoughts adrift on the same distant melody. Lan, the only child of a prosperous real estate mogul, had grown up with the warmth of a loving family and the burden of high expectations. Her father's company cast a long shadow over her future, one she knew she would eventually need to step into. She was in her final year at the university, studying management with a fervor that matched the gleaming skyscrapers that lined the city's skyline. Her days were a blur of lectures and internships, her nights spent buried in textbooks and strategic plans. Ni, on the other hand, knew the bitterness of struggle from a young age. Her mother's sweet treats brought smiles to the faces of passers-by, while her father's firm gaze kept the night's shadows at bay as a security guard. Despite the hardships, she had an insatiable appetite for knowledge, devouring books under the glow of a single bulb that illuminated their humble abode. When school became too much of a luxury, she traded her books for a waitress's apron, her mind sharp as the knives that sliced through the exotic fruits served at the fancy restaurant where she worked. Their paths would never have crossed if it weren't for the digital threads of fate that wove them together in an online LGBTQ group. Lan, seeking solace from the pressures of her life, had found refuge in the stories shared by others who understood the pain of hiding. Ni, a silent observer, found comfort in the virtual whispers of those who knew the same secret she did. It was in this digital sanctuary that their hearts first collided, a spark that grew into a flame that neither could ignore. Their initial messages were tentative, like the first steps into an uncharted forest. They shared their dreams, their fears, and their love for a world that often felt too small to hold their hearts. As the months passed, their bond grew stronger, a lifeline that stretched across the miles that separated them. They fell in love in the quiet spaces between words, in the shared silence that only two souls in the same storm could understand. But love was not enough to shield them from the storms of reality. Lan's parents, eager to maintain their family's status, had arranged a marriage for her with the son of a prominent business associate. The union would cement their legacy, ensuring that their wealth and influence continued to grow. Lan felt the weight of their expectations like a chain around her heart, each link forged from the steel of duty and tradition. Ni's family, though poor, were equally blind to the love that bloomed between the two young women. They dreamt of a better life for their daughter, one that didn't include the stigma of being different. Her mother, with hope in her eyes, talked of finding a good husband who would care for Ni and help the family rise above their circumstances. Her father remained silent, his gaze heavy with the knowledge of the world's cruelty, but also filled with the quiet strength that had carried them thus far. The day the news of Lan's impending marriage reached Ni, she felt as if the earth had cracked beneath her. The vibrant colors of their secret love story bled into a mournful shade of blue, tinting every moment with a profound sadness. They spoke that night, their voices trembling with emotion, the distance between them a chasm that no amount of love could fill. Lan, her voice thick with unshed tears, confessed her family's plans, her heart shattering at the thought of being torn from Ni's side. Ni, ever the fighter, suggested they run away together, to build a new life in a place where their love could thrive without the shackles of expectation. But Lan, her heart torn between love and duty, knew she couldn't abandon her family's legacy. The conversation ended in a hollow silence, the echo of goodbye lingering long after the call had ended. The following days were a whirlwind of secret meetings and stolen kisses, the taste of their love bittersweet as they faced the inevitable. Their final rendezvous was in a quiet park in Da Nang, the same one where they had met for the first time, their hearts racing like the waves that kissed the shore. They held each other tightly, as if by doing so they could somehow hold on to the moments they knew were slipping through their fingers like grains of sand. The scent of frangipani filled the air, a poignant reminder of the beauty that often accompanied heartache. They made a promise, a silent vow that no matter where life took them, their love would endure, a beacon of light in the darkest of nights. And as they parted, the first drops of rain fell, mingling with their tears, a physical manifestation of the tempest that raged within their hearts. Their worlds grew colder as the distance between them grew. Lan's wedding preparations began in earnest, the grandeur a stark contrast to the hollowness she felt inside. Ni threw herself into her work, her smile forced as she served those who had never known the ache of a love lost before it could truly begin. Yet every time she saw a couple holding hands, every time she heard a whispered "I love you," her thoughts drifted to Lan, her heart breaking anew. The day of the wedding arrived, a spectacle of opulence that seemed to mock the emptiness within Lan. She walked down the aisle, her eyes searching for a glimpse of Ni, her soul reaching out for the warmth she knew she would never again hold. And as she exchanged vows with a stranger, she felt the final shackle of tradition close around her heart, a cold embrace that stifled the last embers of her hope. Ni watched from afar, hidden in the shadows, her eyes brimming with unshed tears as she witnessed the culmination of her greatest fear. The girl she loved was being handed over to another, the promise of their future together snuffed out like a candle in the wind. And as the festivities swelled around them, their hearts beating in a mournful rhythm, the two lovers shared one final fleeting glance. It was a look that contained a universe of unspoken words, a silent scream of anguish that pierced through the cacophony of the wedding. Lan felt her heart shatter into a million pieces, each one a shard of regret, as she was led away from the woman who truly owned her soul. The weeks that followed were a blur of numbness for Lan. She went through the motions of her new life, her every step weighted with the burden of a lie. Her husband, a kind and gentle man, tried to coax smiles from her, but they remained as elusive as the stars behind the city's smog. At night, she would lie in their opulent bed, the coldness of the silk a stark reminder of the warmth she craved. Her thoughts would drift to Ni, to their whispers and secret smiles, to the love that now seemed like a distant dream. Meanwhile, in Saigon, Ni found solace in her work, her hands moving with practiced grace as she served the patrons of the restaurant. Yet, every time she saw a couple sharing a quiet moment, her heart clenched, a fist around the love that had been stolen from her. Her family, oblivious to her pain, continued to celebrate her brother's scholarly achievements and her sister's innocent giggles, the void in their lives filled with the mundane joys and struggles of everyday existence. Months turned into years, and the blue of their love story grew fainter with each passing day. Lan, trapped in a gilded cage, threw herself into her husband's business, finding a strange comfort in the cold logic of commerce. Her marriage remained unconsummated, a pact of silent suffering that both parties honored with a stoic resignation. Yet, she never forgot the promise they had made, the vow to hold on to each other through the tempest of time and tradition. Ni too had moved on in her own way. She had saved enough to start a small bakery, a place where she could infuse her pastries with the sweetness of her memories of Lan. Each cake she decorated, each loaf of bread she baked, was a silent ode to the love they had shared. Her heart had grown stronger, tempered by the fire of loss, but it remained forever scarred by the absence of the one it truly yearned for. One evening, as Lan sat in her lonely mansion, staring at the photo of Ni she had secreted away, a message appeared on her screen. It was a simple hello, but it was as if the heavens had parted. They began to chat again, their words tentative, like the first steps after a long silence. And as they grew bolder, their hearts began to weave a new narrative, one of hope and defiance. Their messages grew longer, more frequent, the digital connection a lifeline that kept their love from fading completely. They talked of their days, their fears, and their dreams. They shared the pain of their separation and the ache of their hearts that never truly healed. And as the years peeled away the layers of their pain, they discovered that their love had not withered but had instead grown into an unyielding force that could not be contained by the walls of duty and expectation. One day, Lon made a decision that would change the course of their lives forever. With trembling hands, she wrote the words that had been burning in her soul for so long. "Let's find a way to be together." The message sent, she waited, her heart racing, as she anticipated Ni's response. And when it came, it was a simple, beautiful yes. A declaration that resonated through the chambers of their hearts like a bell tolling for the end of their solitude. Their plan was fraught with danger, a dance of secrets and lies that could shatter their family's worlds. Yet, they knew that the price of their happiness was one they were willing to pay. They would find a way to bridge the gap between Da Nang and Saigon, to unite their hearts in a love that could stand against the storm of tradition. The rain had stopped the day of the wedding, but the tears continued to fall, a testament to the enduring power of love. Lon and Ni knew that their path would not be easy, that the shadows of their past would linger like the scent of rain in the air. Yet, with every step they took toward each other, the horizon grew brighter, a promise of the life they were willing to fight for. Lon, now a seasoned businesswoman, approached her father with a proposal that was as unexpected as the rain in the dry season. She offered to take over the company's expansion into the south, a move that would require her to live in Saigon. Her parents, though surprised, could not argue with her strategic acumen and the potential for growth it represented. They agreed, their hearts hopeful that this new endeavor would bring her the happiness that seemed to elude her. Ni, whose bakery had grown into a beloved neighborhood institution, felt the earth tremble as she read Lan's message. Her dreams of a life with Lon had become a distant lullaby, a sweet melody that soothed her through the loneliest of nights. But now, the possibility of a future together was more than a whisper in the dark. It was a promise, a hand reaching out to her from the other side of the country. The months that followed were a tapestry of stolen moments and hushed phone calls. Lon worked tirelessly to establish a foothold in the bustling city, her every move calculated to bring her closer to Ni. The distance between them grew smaller, measured in the beats of their hearts rather than the miles on the map. Each day was a battle against time, each night a victory as they drew nearer. Finally, the moment came. Lon arrived in Saigon, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. She stepped into Ni's bakery, the bell above the door chiming like the opening notes of a love song. Ni looked up, her eyes wide with shock, and then with a smile that could melt the hardest of hearts, she rushed into Lan's arms. The scent of freshly baked bread and the warmth of Ni's embrace washed over her, and Lon knew she had found her home. Their reunion was a symphony of whispers and gentle touches, a dance of love that had been silent for too long. They held each other tightly, the years of pain and longing dissolving in the sweetness of their kiss. But even as they reveled in their newfound closeness, the specter of their family's expectations loomed large, a cloud that threatened to cast a shadow on their sun-drenched reunion. Together, they faced their fears and the weight of tradition, their love a beacon that guided them through the tumultuous waters of doubt and obligation. They knew that the path they chose was fraught with peril, that the storm of their family's reactions would be fierce. Yet, they held on to each other, a bastion of strength in a world that often felt as though it was crumbling around them. The day they decided to come out to their families was one of both dread and anticipation. Lan's parents were stunned into silence, the weight of their daughter's revelation a heavy burden on their shoulders. Ni's mother wept, her heart breaking at the thought of her daughter's pain, while her father held her close, his eyes filled with a quiet understanding. The storm of emotions was intense, a maelstrom that tested the very core of their love. Lan's family, bound by the chains of tradition, struggled to accept her truth. Ni's family, though poor, offered a warm embrace, their love for their daughter stronger than any social convention. The weeks that followed were a delicate dance of revelation and reconciliation. Lan's parents, though torn by the prospect of losing their only child to a love they could not understand, began to see the strength and resilience of the bond that held her and Nhi together. Nhi's family, though initially heartbroken, found solace in the knowledge that their daughter had found happiness in a world that often denied it to her. Slowly, the clouds parted, allowing the light of acceptance to shine through. Lan's father, his eyes reflecting the love he had for his daughter, offered her a deal. If she could find a way to honor their legacy without sacrificing her own heart, he would support her. Lan, filled with hope, knew that this was her chance to forge a new path, one that included Nhi. And so they began anew, their love a bridge between two cities, two families, two hearts. They faced each challenge with courage, their love a beacon guiding them through the fog of doubt and misunderstanding. Lan worked tirelessly to build a future in which she could honor her family's legacy without losing Nhi, her heart's true home. She proposed a merger between their companies, an alliance that would benefit both families and cement their bond in a way tradition never could. Nhi, her hands still floury from the bakery, looked at Lan with a mix of wonder and fear. Could this be real? A future where they could be openly together, their love a part of the fabric of their families, rather than a secret hidden in the shadows? Lan took her hand, her eyes filled with a determination that could move mountains. "We will make this work," she whispered, and Nhi knew she believed it. The months that followed were a whirlwind of business deals and heartfelt conversations, their love the compass that navigated the choppy waters of their family's acceptance. Lan's mother, who had always loved Nhi from afar, saw the joy her daughter found in her arms, and slowly, her heart began to soften. Her father, the stoic guardian of tradition, watched as his daughter's spirit bloomed under the warmth of Nhi's love and realized that sometimes, love is the most enduring legacy of all. The day of the merger announcement was filled with tension and hope. Lan and Nhi stood before their families, their hands entwined, their hearts beating as one. Lan spoke with a conviction that resonated through the room, her voice clear and strong. "We are not just two companies joining together," she said. "We are two families, two hearts, two souls finding a way to love without borders." The room was silent, the air thick with anticipation. And then slowly, a smile spread across Lan's mother's face, a smile that grew into a nod of acceptance. Nhi's mother wiped away a tear, her heart swelling with pride for her daughter's bravery. The men, once so steadfast in their opposition, looked at each other and then at the women before them, their gazes filled with a newfound respect. As the applause grew louder, the walls of their hearts, once fortified by duty and fear, crumbled away, revealing the unshakable foundation of love beneath. And in that moment, as their families embraced them, the blue of their love story grew brighter, the pages of their shared future waiting to be written. The merger was a success, a testament to their unyielding determination. Lan's sharp business acumen and Nhi's creative flair combined to create a company that reflected the best of both worlds. Their offices, a blend of modern elegance and homely warmth, became a symbol of the love that had brought them together. They worked side by side, their partnership in business a reflection of their bond in life. Their wedding day was a celebration that transcended the boundaries of tradition. It was a tapestry of love, woven with the vibrant threads of their past and the golden threads of their future. The skies above Da Nang were clear, the sun casting a warm glow over the city as Lan and Nhi exchanged their vows in a ceremony that was both intimate and grand. Their families, once divided by misunderstanding, now stood as one, their hearts open to the beauty of their daughter's union. The scent of frangipani once again filled the air, not as a mournful reminder of what could have been but as a joyful herald of what was. Their friends, a colorful mix of those from the LGBTQ group, and the new connections forged in their journey, surrounded them, their laughter and tears a symphony of acceptance and joy. The city that had once felt so cold and unyielding now held the warmth of their love, a beacon that shone through the night. In the years that followed, their bond grew stronger, tempered by the challenges they had faced and the love they had nurtured. They built a home, filled with the laughter of children, the scent of Nhi's baking, and the sound of Lan's footsteps as she walked through the door at the end of each day. The blue of their love story had transformed into a vibrant tapestry of colors, each thread a reminder of the moments they had shared, the battles they had won, and the life they had created together. Their love became a beacon for others, a testament to the power of truth and the resilience of the human spirit. They supported the LGBTQ community in ways they never could have imagined, their story inspiring countless others to fight for their own happiness. They knew that the path they had chosen was not without its thorns, but they had proven that with love, courage, and perseverance, even the most tangled of paths could lead to a garden of bliss. And so, as they lay in each other's arms, the whispers of their hearts echoing in the quiet of their sanctuary, they knew that they had not just survived the storm but had emerged stronger, their love a lighthouse guiding others to the shores of acceptance and happiness. The city that had once been a stage for their sorrow now played host to their love, a love that had grown from the ashes of tradition and soared on the wings of freedom. Their story was no longer one of stolen glances and secret whispers, but of public declarations and open arms. The rain had stopped, the clouds had parted, and in their place, the rainbow of their love arched over the horizon, a promise that no matter the trials ahead, their love would continue to grow, a vibrant, living testament to the beauty that could be found when two hearts dared to defy the odds. Life in Da Nang became a ballet of love and work, each moment a dance choreographed to the rhythm of their shared dreams. Lan managed the new venture with a fierce determination, her sharp mind and kind heart leading the company to new heights. Ni's bakery grew into a chain, her creations a sweet symphony that brought joy to the city's inhabitants. They worked tirelessly, their days a blend of business meetings and playdates, their nights filled with the quiet moments that reminded them of the love that had brought them together. Their families, though scarred by the storm of their revelation, had learned to accept the unconventional path their daughters had chosen. Lan's mother grew to admire Ni's strength, her resilience in the face of adversity a silent rebuke to the fragility of her own youth. Ni's family, once concerned with societal norms, found solace in the happiness that radiated from their daughter's eyes. They saw in Lan a partner who could provide not just financial stability, but also a love that was as fierce as it was gentle. Yet as time passed, the whispers of doubt began to creep in, the echoes of a past that refused to be silenced. Lan's father, though outwardly supportive, harbored a sadness that no amount of success could ease. He saw in his daughter's eyes the reflection of his own sacrifices, the price of a life lived for others. Ni's mother, too, worried about the future, the whispers of gossip that could still sting their hearts. But it was the quiet moments when the world was asleep that the lovers held each other close, their hearts beating a rhythm of reassurance that love was stronger than any storm. One evening, as they sat in their garden, the scent of frangipani heavy in the air, Lan looked into Ni's eyes and spoke of the ache that still lingered in her heart. "I fear that no matter how much we love, how much we build, the shadow of our past will always hover," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Ni took her hand, her thumb tracing gentle circles on Lan's palm. "Our love is not just for us," she replied, her voice firm with conviction. "It's for every girl who dared to dream of a future where she could love freely." And with that, they recommitted to each other, their love a bastion against the whispers of doubt. They knew that their journey was not just personal but a battle for the hearts and minds of those around them. They decided to become more involved in the LGBTQ community, sharing their story, offering support, and showing that love could indeed conquer all. Their lives grew richer with each act of kindness, each heart they touched, and each new dawn that saw their love still standing. The blue of their story had deepened into a midnight hue, a testament to the depth of their connection. They had not just found each other in the storm, they had created a shelter for others to find refuge in, a beacon that grew brighter with each challenge overcome. As they watched the city lights twinkle in the distance, their children playing nearby, they knew that their love was more than a romance. It was a revolution, a declaration that the world was ready for a new kind of family, a family bound not by blood or duty, but by the unshakable bonds of the heart. And with each beat their love grew stronger, a symphony that drowned out the whispers of the past, a love that was not just a story but a legacy, a promise that no matter the path, two hearts could always find their way home to each other.